All right, we are rejoining you guys after you are heading your way towards Agrabah to um, straight towards the flying fortress of Karai, that possibly is holding and imprisoning your surrogate child, Ambra, as you've been unable to communicate and reach him or your sister. You guys are in flight, and then you got shot at and attacked by what you've learned is the Gilded Army, which is uh, the army that has been contracted and bought and paid for by all the merchants in the areas. Um, all these artisans kind of coming together to pull their funds to build this kind of paid for hire army. Um, and they were shooting at you, but then they eventually, you guys got in close quarters and communication, and they talked you down a landing, and then you guys were making plans on how to make an attack at the fortress, which the troops seemed inclined or interested in, as they've been kind of waiting for their best shot at this. You guys were talking about possibly just doing some disguises of your ship, taking another ship, flags, all sorts of different things. So I'm gonna let you guys take over because I believe you guys were still kind of chatting through what you guys wanted to do for your performance. It looks like you're trying to pretend like you're being chased in, and I think that's where we last left off. But let me know if it's changed.
I think that's still the plan. Correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, but I think we were going to take one of the more wrecked ships and try and get through that way while Argo was pretend firing at us and whiffing his shots and all that.
Remember, we have passengers on board.
Yes, on board Argo, which is why we're not going to fire back, or if we fire back, we're going to purposely miss. Or do we want to look at trying to sneak by and get on? I don't know how sneaky we can be on a giant ship, so we probably want to pretend like we're fleeing.
Oh, I mean, I feel like a direct approach is the best.
Yeah. Direct approach as in pretending we're fleeing and it landing on their island?
Yes.
Okay. Salim?
I think we should do the chasing us method. And we could actually, Argo could actually shoot and actually hit us, just not do a lot of damage. Just be precise. And we
True.
could technically shoot back and almost hit him.
Yeah. I'll make sure to put our precious cargo in the furthest point from getting shot at.
As I said in my post last week, I think, we'll want to make sure there's no markings that say what our ship name is, so that the guards, they see it, they don't want to recognize, hey, that ship, we know that was captured by the name, so we'll have to just do all that kind of stuff.
I agree.
I don't even know if we have to do that. We can just say we took this ship.
I don't really know if the ships actually have a name on them or signal flags or anything like that.
Yeah, you can find everything that you're looking for in their boneyard scraps and pieces that they've recovered. You would be able to do all of that stuff. You just a reminder too. They have things like defeated Ashi clothes, armor, uniform, stuff like that. That they've also recovered in their past encounters with the Ashi.
So we could potentially also put on some of that armor and fake like we're Ashi.
Get a couple dead bodies and scatter them around the deck.
Yeah. I can pretend to be dead. I make a very good dead person.
Yeah, if that's what you guys want to do, they'll help you gladly make those arrangements. They've spent the night kind of calling in and making contact with their superiors and stuff. So by time this morning, they're going to be pretty much ready and working on some things. So it's early in the morning right now. So if you guys want to do whatever you want to do before you head out, you got a couple hours. Actually, I guess you haven't gone to bed yet. You just got there, so you can do whatever you need to do right now. But there's people that'll help you with that, and by morning they should be able to do some more stuff.
Lorna's going to look around one of the ships that they're going to take. Like, is there a ship there that they could take?
Is there a functional flying ship of the enemies there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not nearly as big as Argo.
That's okay. They don't need anything that big. They're not using it to keep it. So I think, yeah, for what Sleem said, she's going to check out to see if there's any markings.
What are we landing on?
A flying island.
Do we know?
Yeah, if you I don't think you asked, but there would be enough intel from the scouting and what they've been able to procure. So, if you went to ask some questions and dig in deeper with some of the people, they would share that it's kind of like a flying fortress of bone metal in lumber. It's made with scales of dragons and wings of dragons to make up masts. It's kind of a twisted kind of concoction that flies in the air, and there's a place to where you can land. You can land on top of the deck and on top of the fortress, but that's going to be the most visible to everything that's going on around. but there's also places near the bottom side of the flying fortress that you can fly up into, like little roosts and little landing areas right there where you could probably get in. That's about as far as their intel has to share. They haven't really gotten past that part.
So during World War II, the British took an old destroyer and disguised it like a German destroyer and sailed it into this harbor. There were these docks for repairing the big battleships like the Bismarck and all that stuff. And they rammed it into the dock and they exploded it.
What is this
Would that
World
be
War
something
II
that-
you speak of?
Is that something that we could load this ship with explosives and actually damage this thing? Would there be a place to land to do that? Or because Argo can always come and pick us up.
For
I
your
doubt if we're
crew,
gonna
for your
escape in
crew,
this thing.
if you're gonna have a crew of 12 people, I guess how much weight and explosives are we talking about?
We would fill the bottom of the ship, the hold. Or is it not going to do any damage?
Well, you'd have to try to
mean-
find out.
Well.
Yeah, you could. There's the ship that's flying could definitely be loaded down, carry your 12-man crew, and allow you to load it down with some explosives. It's going to do some serious damage. I don't know how much damage you're expecting though.
Well, like, we could land it next to the barracks, and then once we leave, blow it up and blow up the barracks. I don't know how the
Gotcha.
island's set
Okay,
up.
I'm just trying to get, like, are you expecting like Death Star explosion? Or okay, yeah, that's perfect. That'll work great for what you're, I think, intending to do with it. Potentially, you could definitely do that. It will cost you some gold. I don't have it readily available. I'll say that's gonna be about 500 golds worth of
Okay.
explosives and stuff.
Yeah, it's just a thought.
Might be a good
It'd
backup.
be a nice diversion too.
So
Yeah,
you're
they're-
saying we take the ship and we land it and then it
And
blows
then
up?
we leave the ship.
Uh-huh.
Right. We leave the ship. We go down into wherever we're going. Later on, the ship blows up. It's a diversion that'll draw some of the guards
Okay.
away.
It's a
Maybe do
timed
some damage.
explosion. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm down for that.
All right. All right. So what is Argus gonna be following you with the other ships and pulling off this performance? Is that correct still?
Yes.
Gonna be chasing us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what are you doing with the 6 Saiyans that are with you?
We should dress them up like the Ashi.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
If they would do that.
yeah, they would agree to do that. I feel like I'm forgetting something that you guys have to still figure out, and that is
I would like to recommend, though, with Argos, that we are pulling away from him slowly, and then eventually he breaks off and stops following us, because if they get too close, they're going to get attacked.
Mhm.
Yeah, as soon as we get close to the island, I'm sure the island's defenses will start shooting at him, and that's when he should break off.
I think we got a plan. Any other kind of arrangements you guys want to make before you take off?
I don't know if you saw, but Skyward said Shadow is going to stay on the Argos with the Cubs.
Make a persuasion check there, Skywar.
Oh.
Okay. That works. It was a simple DC. He wants to go with you, but he's also wants to watch over the cubs. So he'll allow it this time. All right. Okay. Without further ado, I guess then you guys all finish making all the preparations that you discussed. You load the ship down with explosives, and everyone kind of clusters up before taking off to discuss the plan that they are going to be in pursuit. Meaning pot shots and all sorts of things to make it look realistic. He kind of the kind of leader looks at you, Lorna. You volunteered as pilot, right, Lorna, or was somebody
Yep.
else flying? He looks at you and says, it's to make it look real. It's gonna be somewhat real. So you need to be able to evade and fly that ship hard."
I can do that.
He kind
I
of
sure hope.
speaks to the group. He goes, "You know that's further out. We got wormlings, but the closer to the fortress is crawling with dragons of all shapes, sizes, colors that are going to be coming at you once we get closer and closer to the fortress."
Mm-hmm.
The plan is that they want to try to get to as close to the fortress and dock and stuff. Are you going? Have you decided if you're going to go above or from below?
You guys have seen the Ashi on these ships and seen how they do things, right?
Mm-hmm.
How would they normally approach that island?
Most of the creatures flying in and out of that thing come from the bottom, but really they roost all over the flying thing like it's their own thing. But it seems like they enter and leave from the bottom quite often, as if that's kind of where they dwell. Or
Then we'll go from below.
he will say, "No, yeah, okay, that's so." He then kind of goes back to the group, the other captains, and those are flying the other ships, and says, "To get them in there to go below, they're going to have to face some of those creatures head first. We're going to have to get as closer than comfortable before we split if we don't want to take too many heavy losses or, casualties in this effort."
Mm-hmm.
Do they have a rough map of the island as to where the what is it, the prison? Because we're going there to rescue the dragon, right? And
Mm-hmm.
try to.
They don't have a map, but they do. You can go ahead and share this picture, though. It's kind of like a sketch of what they see and what you're going to be seeing as you head over there. Make sure I got everything on the right layers.
Because we don't want to park on one end of the island and have to walk all the way across to the other end.
Mm-hmm.
That would sort of matter where we're going to land.
All right, let me move you here. And Charles is kind of sketching, etching, on paper and stuff, and he's kind of gesturing to. Let me make sure. Do I have? It's broadcast. Okay, perfect. And he's talking about how most of the dragons kind of come in and out of here, which this seems to be the lower belly of the fortress.
So would it make sense for a ship to go there too? Like,
That's where he imagines that you can land up there or offload if you're not trying to land on top of the deck.
Mm-hmm.
There's all sorts of operations and machinery and weird things going on deck with it being constantly, scouted by the ninjas, but also those that they have working on the ship.
And that would be a good place to dock our bomb. So,
This is an option. Yeah.
yeah.
You could also potentially dock underneath here. Like they said, it's kind of Have you seen this where the birds kind of fly up and then there's like a little ledge there, so they just kind of roost
Bring
there,
that.
basically.
Yeah. So there's
So,
no place to dock it at the bottom.
I mean, it's a flying ship. I mean, you could have it stay there at the
True.
kind of the
We'll do that.
hole.
Let's do
Um,
that.
and they just don't know. They haven't flown. You might be able to get the ship up there, and I mean, they're big enough for big dragons coming in and out of.
Mm-hmm.
Which doesn't have to be crazy big, but it's going to be big enough for, from what their scouts say, is big enough for like a ship to kind of go up into. And they don't know how far it goes back at that size, but
Okay. So
I,
yeah, let's stick with it there. And if we get closer and find it's not a good idea, then we'll change it.
okay.
Yep.
All right. So you guys got all your plans, and everyone seems to be on board with what the captain was saying. And as soon as they all kind of get on the ships, they seem to be waiting for you guys to take off. And as you disembark, they kind of let you get a decent distance away from them. Quite a few miles till they kind of start taking off, so they aren't trailing too far behind. Um, it's only going to be probably a couple hours to get there from where you are currently. Let me double check where you guys were at on the world map. You guys were on the mountain range, I think, before going into Agrabah. So yeah, yep. So you got a few, I would say 6 hours or so to get to where you're heading. Once you get past the mountain ridge. So as you're flying in the direction where the fortress has been reported, you're going to see the landscape kind of change from the green lush jungles and then the kind of wintry peaks of the ridgeline that you just flew from, to everything start drying and less vegetation till eventually you see just miles and miles of desert across the every direction till every side just is golden blue skies as you look in every direction around your ship. Celine, this is a very familiar view as you kind of see your homeland up from far up and above in the sky upon this flying ship. You see little glimpses of potential cities that you might have traveled to back in your time here when you lived in this area. You'll also see some random people walking across the desert with camels, carrying, meager supplies in between different settlements, and you just see the kind of the landscape continue to change. Eventually, in the longer hour, or near the end of your traveling hours, you eventually start to see a black dot out in the distance. And as that dot gets a little closer, you see like what looks like to be like dots and things flying all around the fortress itself. Looking behind you, the ships have kind of closed the gap a little bit as they know you're approaching the fortress, and this is when it's going to start needing to become time to make this look good. Everyone that you instructed to wear the guards the Ashi's armor have done so. Are you guys doing any kind of other last minute provisions as you fly closer and closer to this flying fortress with your ship, crew, anything?
Lorna is going to tap Skybor on the shoulder again and give him the temporary hit points once more for 5.
Okay.
Can I roll something other than 5, please? I just picture, that's not good. Punches him, gets rid of the temp hit points, gives more. No. She's not going to do that.
All right.
Who's playing Callie today?
That's a great question. Anybody like playing a cleric?
Never done it.
I'll play Callie. I've played many a cleric. Open the sheet. Oh, so many spells. Okay. Yep, we're good. It's all good.
All right. So the gap is closing from those that are pulling off this ruse with you, and you guys have got to start kicking in the gear. And it's going to be a team effort to try to make this to really kind of sell this entire thing. If you're not going to be investigated further, so as you guys kind of quicken your pace of your ships, you're going to start hearing some explosions off in the distance from behind you. As you guys start to get closer and closer, and now when you hold out your thumb, you can start to see the whole kind of silhouette filling it. So it's a lot closer than a speck that it once was not that long ago. You guys are still flying towards it, and the cannons behind you are starting to explode a little bit broad on your left, on your right. But as they're getting closer, they're trying to make it really sell it. And the last one was just mere a few feet away from you. Lorna, if these shots are getting a little bit more accurate, I will need you to go ahead and give me a vehicles check, please.
Yes. What ability would you like it to be?
You're kind of steering this with so I would say it was probably be strength.
Alrighty.
Trying to bob and weave and really kind of put this ship kind of through tighter paces than it's really ever was it built for.
Alrighty, that would be a 21.
Okay. This last shot goes kind of right over the deck. It's a miracle nobody got hurt, but you successfully kind of dodged several of the shots shot at you from by your allies. And you guys continue to close the gap, flying it hard and fast, super quickly through the air, zipping through, and you start to see that it's getting closer and closer. But now the dots and those things that were flying around the thing are quite clearly not, or larger winged creatures. And you could swear that some of those winged creatures seem to be getting bigger and bigger as they come closer and closer to you to intercept you and those that are following you. You're still dodging and weaving, pulling off this disguise. Who wants to contribute to this ruse in some way, form, or fashion?
I would actually tell Argos to go ahead and start breaking off now that the what appears to be dragons are heading towards us.
Mm-hmm.
Just so everyone there stays safe.
Okay.
Callie is going to start shooting, sacred flames at Argo. Obviously, trying to miss most of them and not do a significant amount of damage.
Sorry, what was that, Lorna? It was kind of hard with the background. What was that?
Callie's going to be sending sacred flames at Argo. They're not super good. They're also close target stuff, so she's trying to fake it like, oh, I'm a cleric, don't hurt me. But, playing to the we're being chased and we don't want to be chased, help us.
You can just see Callie saying that. Don't hurt me.
Don't hurt me, I'm a little cleric.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a performance check from Callie.
Oh boy. Can she guidance herself?
Sure, why not?
Does she even have guidance? Hold on. Oh, thank God she does. She doesn't have a thing, so I'll just add it in after. Performance. Oh, that's a 4. Fuck.
Yeah,
That's not even
you're
gonna.
quite a distance away from your spells to really reach that far to hit Argo, since you're having it kind of split off pretty early on in the
Yeah.
approach. So the flames go out, but they don't really do much. It kind of looks like you're just playing with fire for some reason.
Cool.
uh,
Cool. Boys?
all right. What about you, Cronus? What are you up to as you guys get closer? I'd say now you guys are a fair, decent size, and it's clear that there are a total of 3 to 6 dragons kind of flying in your direction, uh, either to intercept those in pursuit of you or you yourself. 1 second, guys.
We got this, right, you guys?
Okay. So you see those are flying closer and closer and approach. So Cronus or Salim, is there anything you guys want to do to try to do whatever you can to sell this a little bit more? Actually, and Lauren, I'll go ahead and need another vehicle check using strength, please.
Cool.
Because these shots behind you are getting really close as they're trying to keep this
27.
all right. You're making it look like a show. It's exceptional. Like they're getting, you almost have got a dance with the cannons that are coming near you. It's almost like you're dodging them, but you're kind of letting them get closer than they really should be in the first place. And you're kind of just flying through the clouds, making this ship probably do more than it's ever dreamt of being done in it. And the dragons have gotten even closer and closer. Uh, what do you, Skywar, Cronus, or Sleem like to do?
I would head up to the front of the ship. Kind of like I'm waiting on them to get to us.
Okay. What are you wearing, Cronus? Are you just wearing your normal stuff, or?
Yep. Just the pants.
That's a little personal, isn't it?
Only Lorna's allowed to ask that.
Oh gosh. um, okay. So,
So-
so okay, you're prepared. What are you gonna do as soon as you get they get close enough? I guess. What do you have anything planned? I'll just kind of.
So not knowing if there's anybody on the dragons or anything, but I would be ready to show the tattoo that I have.
Oh. Oh. Okay. All right. That's behind your neck, isn't it? Or where's
No,
that?
it's like on the hip.
That's very personal.
Yes.
Again, Lorna's allowed
So
to
he's
see
gonna
it.
drop his he's gonna drop his drawers and show his hip.
Oh boy.
Oh shoot. All right. So
Salim's gonna run over to the railing and motion to the dragons coming up, yelling, help us, blah, blah, blah. Get after them. They're going to take us down, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. Like
Okay.
a panicked sailor.
all right. Go. All right. So we'll do that here as soon as they get close enough then, but just that won't take much longer. So Laura, go ahead and give me another vehicle check as you are getting closer and closer. Now you can really see the kind of the sheer size of this, and it looks just incredible, just hovering over this entire desert space. You actually were going to see the cave of wonders popped out. This kind of cave that looks like a tiger's head below you, just covered, or I'm sorry, just completely eclipsed from the sun by the size of this fortress in the sky.
Oh boy.
Uh,
That is a 25.
25. You're doing great with the performance, and this one you allow as the dragons get closer. You let the ship kind of get a little bit scuffed up, banged up. Nothing too crazy, but you kind of let something kind of graze you to kind of keep this really going, this performance going. Um, Saleem, you are getting close enough for them to the dragons at least to see and hear you squall out at them and beckon. They'll kind of look at your direction and with their great eyesight and try to make out what you're saying, examining your ship and examining those that are on you, those traveling with you. Go ahead and give me a performance check, please.
Performance or deception?
Mm, I want to. Yeah, go ahead with deception. Okay.
There you go.
The dragons look like they kind of understand what you're saying, but they kind of do their own look over the ship and stuff, and they do see Ashi, or those dressed in Ashi uniform aboard your ship, and seeing the banged up conditions and those shots getting closer and closer to you. It seems to you and your performance has kind of pulled this off. Uh, as they kind of they're still flying in your direction as they're trying to intercept those following you directly behind. And as they get closer, you will notice that each one of these dragons are mounted with an Ashi elite warrior, kind of similar to the ones that you've encountered in the past. They will look over at your ship and onto your deck and kind of see what's going on there. Um, you're decent ways away from them, Cronus. I don't know if you still want to go with that plan, but they're kind of just assessing the whole situation.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I guess they're gonna need to go a little closer, but
Come over here, guys. I want to show you something on my pants. Uh,
I mean, yeah, from a distance, seeing me, you know,
Drop your drawers. Yeah.
okay. But as they kind of come, you kind of meet. They do kind of splinter off behind you and go toward different directions towards the ships. The ships are still fire for just a little longer. Some more shots in your direction. They know they're gonna have to go. You guys got a lot more dragons to kind of fly through. The closer and closer you get, and it's not gonna just be effective with just 5 dragons chasing their whole fleet of ships away. So they continue to pursue you. So we're gonna keep driving and flying this ship as hard and fast as we can. So Lorna, please go ahead and give me another vehicles check, please.
Alrighty. Vehicles. Boop. 28.
All right, you're almost doing barrel rolls in this thing as you continue flying through the sky. You kind of can look back behind you as you guys are flying, and you're going to see some of the first leading ships kind of engaging with these dragons that flew out to meet them. You're going to see a big scorching breath of fire on one ship, acid kind of spilling out across another, and another one just shooting pure ice at the ship and freezing it. And you start to see some of these smaller vessels that are following start to fall down. There's still many deep, and there's still a lot of them, continuing to this attack, but they're already starting to see some casualties from the dragons that are engaging them. You guys are going, and you start to see that as you're getting closer and closer to the ship. It's probably minutes before you could get underneath underneath the fortress and look for one of those landing platforms that they were talking about earlier. You start to see another 6 to 8 dragons fly out your direction, trying to convene with the other ones. Do you guys want to do the same stuff that you did last time, or is there anything special that you guys want to do for this next patrol that's heading out in that direction?
Sorry, just to confirm, the ships have broken off now?
No, not yet.
No.
They are still pursuing to try to get you as close to this fortress.
Yeah. Lorna's still going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, Sleem, Cronus, Skywar, Callie.
Does
anything
our
you-
ship have cannons in the back? Our weapons?
Yeah. Let's say you did. You fastened some. You guys got
Okay.
cannons ready working
I'll run
before.
back and work on shooting at them, at the people following us.
Okay. Are you
Obviously, gonna miss them,
okay?
but make it look good.
All right. Let's do performance with this.
Pretend like it's like stuck at an angle and.
I was thinking about setting it so it would blow up.
Oh,
Like it got
that could
hit.
work too.
All right. So you put a lot of effort and gusto as much as you can, Sleem. You're loading up the can, firing another one, trying to load up another one rapidly, trying to get that one going off. You're doing a lot for a halfling, but you're putting on a good show as you send a few shots, stray shots out into the direction of your allies. Um, no damage was done to your side though as you continue to fire these shots out the back. I'll continue. I'll just assume you're kind of keeping this up for a minute. What about
Yeah.
you, Skybor or Cronus? Are you guys doing anything on this next passerby?
I'm just a rat inside Salim's pocket.
Okay.
Uh,
Salim and Cronus, anything special this time through?
No, I would actually just continue standing up front, like not interacting back with the back, like I'm the important person on this ship.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and what did you roll last time for? Oh, you didn't go. You actually didn't do this one last time. I will say roll deception or intimidation. Or you're not really. Not really I'll say deception, intimidation, or persuasion, and that will kind of which one you choose is going to kind of select the tone of what you're doing.
21.
Okay,
I'm
so
standing
yours
there in like an intimidating form of
power and
uh-huh.
important. Gotcha. Okay. And you do so effectively. The dragons kind of recognize you, don't pay you much attention because you're not acting like you're not supposed to be there. So they kind of go along with that. Sleem, your performance of firing the cannons, and Lorna, your exemplary ship skills have really kind of pulled off this next ruse successfully. Those try to fly back, and you'll look behind you, start seeing a few more ships getting engaged and a few more kind of crashing down. What were you going to say, Celine?
I was gonna say, just as long as she doesn't stop and ask for directions.
Excuse me. I am proficient in survival, thank you. I know
You're
how to
flying
drive.
excellent, but you're now going in the wrong way.
Yeah. Whoops.
Okay. So the last group of dragons fly past and start to engage with those that are coming from behind. The ships still do not break off yet. They continue to fly in, but you can see that they're starting to feel some of the wear and tear. So it's probably not long lived, and this might be the last kind of supporting round that you'll get as you fly towards the fortress. So Lorna, go ahead and give me another vehicles check, please, as you are continuing to fly this through.
I am using my inspiration for that.
Okay.
I am not going to roll a nat one, thank you. There we go. That is a 25.
Okay. You're doing great. The shots are not as great in quantity as they're not all the ships are able to keep up as much as they were before as you get closer and closer to the fortress. but there's a few good shots that make its way and do a little bit of damage to the ship, but not enough to throw you off course. Um, so you continue to fly and dodge these shots. You're seeing some more dragons, and they seem to all kind of fly around you now. They're not really focused on checking you out. Whether it be they assume the last couple that have bypassed you have already done enough verification, and they just continue to fly out to meet the ships from behind. You kind of look back moments later. You start to see the Gilded Army's ships start to split and break off from the attack, and they all seem to be retreating as much as possible. Not without losing 10, 20 more ships, though, in the process, start to kind of crash down and collide into the sand, sending out these kind of sandy, smoky clouds from the earth below. But you guys have gotten close enough to the underbelly of this flying fortress, and you start to see some of the those outcroppings we were talking about. These like holes where you see dragons, and even other small little airships that are kind of parked up in these little alcoves underneath, coming up from underneath the fortress. The ship kind of flies and glides up there as well, and you can see a place to land the ship right there on a hard surface made of rock and earth and lumber.
Can Lorna do that, like, we're coming in hot and, like, skid and, like, but still land it?
Uh,
Oh no, I just fucked this
yes,
all out,
you,
didn't I?
yes, you can.
Oh yeah, you
absolutely
guys.
can. How much explosives did you have, Salim?
Maybe not.
See how this goes.
Yeah, we have fate tokens.
We got TPK.
Yeah.
Fly the ship hard.
This will be fine. Exactly, that's what I want, Howard.
Go ahead. Let's do a vehicles check. Let's see how you do it without doing actual like irreparable damage to the ship itself.
32.
It's like Tokyo Drift in this bitch, and you fly up there over there and landed on that landing. The sound of the metal and the wood kind of scraping the floor. It's kind of getting your adrenaline going, Lorna. And as soon as it kind of comes to a stop, you have a quick realization that you just did that with a lot of gunpowder and explosives in the hull of your ship. But no one got hurt, and it looked really cool.
Yeah.
There are some smaller dragons you'll see, like wormlings and stuff here. Some just kind of disregard you at first, but when you start crashing in, they kind of are popping their head out and looking at you. Nothing flying out to engage you yet, and there seems to be no other humans or dragons currently in this entrance, which you see just kind of as this large cavernous stronghold of this fortress. You see mixtures of bone, dragon scale, stretched wings and skin of dragons from those that have passed on. You're gonna see all sorts of like kind of gothic architecture making up these cavernous halls of this twisted fortress. It's really cavernous on the bottom half. What would you guys like to do along with your followers?
We should probably look around real quick, see if like there are people there or like anybody that would notice them as human beings. And then I say we jump off and get running in. What do you guys think?
I jump over the side, kneel down, and kiss the ground.
There's rat droppings in Salim's pocket now.
Or it's just like,
Okay.
come on, you guys, we can PTSD later.
All right. So
When
you
are we blowing
all.
up this boat?
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. What do you want to do with your followers? Do you want them to stay behind, defend the boat for your getaway, set it like destroy it after you get started? They do have flying capability, so they could technically escape without a flying ship if you need them to do whatever.
Oh, right, we didn't think about setting a charge or getting something like that.
Yeah, let them set the explosion, and they can just fly off
Yeah,
and leave us here.
that works.
We won't abandon you. We'll try to keep this landing clear of any kind of backups, at least from this way. But if we get overwhelmed, we'll maybe take you up on that suggestion.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Just as long as if we get overwhelmed, just make sure you blow up the ship. So it creates a big problem here.
They'll nod at you in
Exactly.
agreement, and they'll kind of get their own preparation set up. They're still wearing the Foot Clan or like disguises, so um, they will have some
How many
time.
of the wormlings are around? You said there were some wormlings looking at us.
Yeah, some smaller ones, kind of like baby sized. They're kind of poking their heads out in interest, kind of curiosity, looking at you, and then retreating back into this kind of honeycomb network of caves and tunnels and rock on this lower half.
So, if they can, have them take some of those explosives and go down some of the tunnels and spread them out to different places and set them before they leave.
They kind of see these little wormlings kind of come out and fly back in like bats, and then they look at you and kind of with a look of not trying to show that they're a little frightened, but they're like, "You want us to go inside there where
No, not
they
where
live?"
they're at. Just down the tunnels that we're going to go down.
I
Down the
got you.
main. Yeah, I was thinking that the wormlings were larger and they could attack them and kill them. A surprise attack. But if they're just little babies, just take the explosives and spread it around the ship wherever they can, you know, put it in a closet here, put it in a microwave there. Just for more diversion.
Absolutely.
Set them to go off in about 2 hours. Whatever they think's best. Still leave some on the ship to destroy the ship and cause that problem, but there's
Okay.
6 of them. They should be able to take some around.
All right. I need 5 quick minutes, guys. I gotta just make sure the kids are heading out to bed. Be right
Alrighty,
back.
we'll take
Okay.
a break.
right. So you guys land. You give your team their orders, and you guys take off into the cavernous opening. It's quite large. So while you saw smaller creatures, there's definitely some big creatures that kind of come in and out of these caverns, and out into the open like this way. How are you guys approaching these caverns? Are you guys running through? Are you using spells? What are you guys doing?
Should we go through sneakily, you guys? Should we try? Or should we just, like, run through like bats out of hell and get the shit done?
I mean, I say we either sneak or we walk with a purpose, like we're supposed to be here.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
I think
do
we
like
walk
that.
with a purpose, and if we meet anybody, we ask
Yeah.
them, "Where's the commander?" or
Well, in this situation, we wouldn't ask. I would be telling them.
yeah. Well,
True.
you gotta find out where he is so we can go to him. But even though we're not really going to him,
Yeah, I think walking with a purpose is going to be our best bet. Let me see. I think what will bless do? Do. That's a saving throw, so that's not gonna help. Yeah, let's walk with a fucking purpose. I
Okay.
love that. Callie is going to cast guidance on herself in case she has to, perform. That is what she's got up.
Okay. All right. So you guys start making your way through the caverns. You start going in, and will see some smaller creatures pop out. But it's been a minute since any kind of large creature has been seen since you were flying, or since you've been outside of the structure. At this point, though, as you start to have that thought, you'll start to hear some noises coming from down the tunnel. This seems like something that's flapping and changing the wind and making loud noises coming your direction. It's hard to gauge the actual size of the creature coming, but there's a winged beast your way. There are plenty of places for you to hide in this cavernous kind of tunnel system, um, or you can continue kind of marching forward.
Lorna's going to follow what Cronus thinks.
Yeah, I'm still gonna walk with a purpose.
Is everyone
Alright.
else doing the same? Saleem, Skywar, you guys just walking straight down the tunnel with the others?
yeah, I'll be in front of Cronus, acting like his
Humble servant.
what would it be? A herald?
Okay.
Yeah, servant herald, getting the riffraff out of his way.
Not a lot of riffraff down here. You haven't seen another human creature. Maybe in the last hour, you guys have been making your way through this tunnel. As you continue down this tunnel, though, you'll feel that wind kind of getting closer and closer, and this large white dragon kind of flies over your head out the other direction, or the direction you're coming, until you see it kind of turn and fly back and hover above your head, looking down at you guys with a menacing look, and goes, "You are not the masters, and you are not a dragon. That must mean you are food. More servants that weren't keeping up with the master's orders I see from up above. or some servants that have escaped their master, uh, trying to escape down here and hide below, forgetting that this is for the dragons and the humans are for stay above. She kind of then starts to fly down just a little bit. She's still about 80 feet up in the air right now, looking you guys up and deciding how delicious or who's the most delicious of all of you.
How big is this tunnel?
It ranges. It's been as wide as some areas are, as wide as 100 feet. Some are as big as 200 feet in radius. It's a pretty big cavernous tunnels here.
I will look up at the dragon, point at it, and in Draconic, yell at it, and be like, "You don't know who I am?" Like more of like a statement question. And then I will fold like my waistband down, point, and be like, "You are one of my servants."
Oh shit.
Go ahead and roll me deception. I'll go
I
ahead and
should
give
not
you.
be the person doing this, but
I'll give you advantage because you pulled out the symbol, and it is a pretty high ranking symbol in the clan.
Oh. Use your inspiration.
do we have inspirations?
I think that was the rules. You weren't here. Or we were here before you, Nick. Right?
No, but that's okay.
I'll just use the fate token.
Yeah, we do have fate tokens. Oh, but.
Huh.
I have done that before, so that I can see where that's confusing. But no, not by default.
Third time the charm, call it what it is.
Yep.
I feel like this is a fight we could rather avoid.
Probably. There we go.
She kind of makes a hissing, almost remark to that to your claim for your position, and she'll say, "Then what are these morsels doing with you? They don't seem like they work for you and our masters." Kind of lowering its head, letting its tongue out just to kind of smell you better.
These are my servants. This is my sword, pointing at Lorna. And that's my arrow, pointing at Salim. And his pet rat, Mr. Nibbles.
And who's Callie?
That's my band-aid.
This concubine.
Wow.
It hisses, and seemingly satisfied with your answer, it flies off in the direction it was flying originally. Seemingly bitter from its snack being taken away from it.
Oh my god. Lorna lets out a breath she didn't realize she was holding. Right, okay. You know how much I love you. But maybe let's let the people who talk for a living talk. Looks over at Salim. Should probably talk next time.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
thinking the same thing.
Nobody's going to believe that he's a high-ranking figure.
Well, no, he could be like,
No, I'm
my
your
master
herald.
here. My master, look at my
I'm
master.
your bootlicker. Your
Exactly.
lackey.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
But you did good. We're alive. For now. Right. We're going? Yes? You okay in there, Skybore?
We
Squeak.
might want to get up a little higher in the tunnels too.
Probably.
Well-
Let's, yeah, get higher.
What was that, Sling? You want to try to go up in elevation in the tunnels? Or what did you say?
Yeah.
Okay,
Out of the dragon area.
gotcha. All right. So as you start to walk away from this, you continue to find more tunnels. This place is huge below. It feels like you're almost inside of the bottom half, like a upside down mountain at this point. But you eventually
Are
just
there
start-
any signs around that say you are here?
Not in these caves, but you are going to see some lava pools kind of start to spill out, and little kind of puddles of the sitting lava and other things. It's all kind of lighting the whole caverns with dim light as you go, as the lava kind of becomes more prominent and more prominent as the further you go into this place. Back here. Continue to walk further through and being able to see with little effort due to the dim light offered by the lava until you reach this quite large room or cavern that has a couple primary main tunnels to choose to go through. There's about 3 of them that you can see that kind of I'm sorry, 3 different kind of branching tunnels off of this room. There's both, your northwest, east directions. What would you guys like to do?
Is there any sense of where they may lead? Does she, like, do they feel any sort of, like, breeze coming from any of them?
Give me a perception check.
Callie would like to feel the air as well.
Okay.
Callie.
All right. So Callie is feeling a lot of heat kind of coming from the middle tunnel. You see lots of lava and stuff all around this cavern and going into the different tunnels, but it seems like it's a little bit hotter that direction. You'll also notice that over to the left side of the other tunnel, you'll start to see what to be like large workings of steel and various crude kind of instruments. It's kind of hard to make out what they're used for exactly, but you see these massive kind of black chains kind of laying on the ground in different states of disrepair. Kind of some debris leading towards the left tunnel. And in the right tunnel, you do get a little bit more fresher air. It seems like it might be going further up to the further up into the fortress, away from these deep caverns.
From what she saw of Umbra and her sister, would any of that make more sense to go to? Like, I don't think prisons
sure.
would be close to air.
Sure. No. I mean, in your vision of Umbra, you saw him kind of in a cavernous prison in black chains and kind of lava pools kind of smoking and flowing around him.
That's the lava.
And you could hear several other dragons that seem to be in equal, states of imprisonment.
Distress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Exactly.
it's either
can't-
lava or chains, you guys.
I think we should go chains.
Yeah. Everybody good with that? Skybore squeak once for yes, twice for no.
Squeak.
Guy was a
You
very
should get a bonus token for such good role playing.
fair enough. You get an inspiration, Skyboard.
I love it.
And he better
boy.
clean out my pocket, too.
Just the manliest of squeaks. Adorable. All right. Chains it is. Lead the way, master.
All right. You start to go through these tunnels, and deeper you go. You are going to start to hear some chains kind of clinking and moving around, and some fluttering of like big winged creatures kind of coming from down the hallway. Um, as you get closer, again, it's all kind of dimly lit with these lava plumes kind of coming from different and streaming through the crevices of the boulders of the rocky terrain of this cavern. And you look inside, you'll see a few of these dragons kind of wrapped in chains where some can't even move their wings and flap them, and they're completely bound in these big black chains. To get a better view of what's all inside this massive cavern, you're gonna have to move closer, but that's kind of what you see as you creep down the hallways, or not creep, but walk down these hallways or caverns. Tunnels.
Lorna's keeping her eye out for Umbra and her sister.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want
ahead.
to keep an eye out what type of dragons are around.
Sure.
Yeah, and as we approach, I would, no hesitation, just walk right in.
Okay. So no stealth, just walking straight through. Okay. All right. So you just keep walking through the hallway, and the first dragon you see that's kind of sticking its snout out, that's kind of wrapped in chains and unable to move. It's able to twist its head, so you do have to keep your distance there, but it's not able to move much from its current place where it's bound. You walk through this entryway, and you just look above you, and it's a huge room, a cavern. You see kind of like nesting or perch, or place where dragons can perch and rest, but you see chains and black chains just going all over this room. You see all these different colored dragons imprisoned from above you, below you, to the side of you, in various colors. There's blue, green, white, and black. Oddly enough, no red dragons you see in this room. You can kind of make out here and there some like etchings and a little glimpse of green kind of magical writing on these chains kind of illuminate every once in a while. And as you're looking around at some of the dragons in your near vicinity, you can see that they're kind of writhing in pain, some having their mobility very restricted, and so some of them we can't even tell because their maws are all kind of chained shut, and one of them you can see its eyes just kind of dilating and constricting repeatedly as if it's like kind of losing its mind a little bit and trying to fight something off. Is there anything you guys want to do in this room besides look for your son and your sister?
Are there any other people around here?
Mm-mm. Not right now. Though you do see some tools. It looks like there might be some other caverns that lead up to fresher air like before. But no one in this immediate area. Yeah, if you're just looking for armor, that's fine. Go ahead, and give me one more perception check, please. As you guys are all, I assume all five of you are all, yeah, all five of you are in here, right? No one's
Yeah.
hanging back. Okay,
Yeah.
so anyone can participate in this perception check, except for you, Slim, really, because you don't know what Umbra really looks like. I guess you can perceive other things in the room.
That is Kelly. That is Lorna.
Well, technically, I don't think Callie's ever met Umbra, so
Ah, that is true. She'll be looking for orange hair like Lorna, because, sister assumes she has orange hair.
you are not seeing any humans at all in this kind of area. This looks like a prison for dragons right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, want to hear your response? I just feel like there's so much in that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
It's fine.
so, uh, let me look at who else. So, Skybore, you're familiar with it. So, add your mouse state. You will see what looks to be a black dragon, um, quite larger than when you've last left him, almost like an adult dragon at this point. You see, but he has some of the same markings where you recognize him from when he was younger. Um, he's a similar state like the other dragons, where he cannot move. He's completely bound. Like he is kind of swaddled in chains, if you will, and he's not able to move his jaw. And you kind of see him, kind of just the same thing. His eyes kind of flashing in and out of constriction and dilation, and yeah, you are able to kind of direct your group. Let me go ahead and get.
Squeak, 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 squeak,
What is it, Skybor?
squeak.
Oh boy.
Skyward leaps out of Celine's pocket and starts running for Umbra.
Lorna starts running after him, being careful not to squish the mouse.
Okay. You run over there and you see this kind of image of these big black chains wrapped around this large dragon. His eyes doing the thing I was just describing, but no, as you stare at his face, you make eye contact. There seems to be little to no recollection of any of your faces in his eyes.
Cronus, you should probably try and talk to him before we let him out. Try to. Callie's gonna cast guidance on Cronus. And she's also going to cast Calm Emotions.
Okay.
I need a charisma saving throw from Umbra.
Okay.
Or they can choose to fail if they wish.
What's the saving for it's a charisma you said?
Correct.
Okay. What's the DC? It's 19. Okay. The spell seems to have quieted just for a moment for his eyes to kind of dart around panically, not, doing that constriction and changing of the pupils. It seems to be more focused and of his own mind sight, but it looks like it is in pain, trying to maintain its own sanity at this point. It kind of looks at you, unable to kind of speak clearly in the chain. He looks at you, goes, "Help me! I can't last much longer." And then he kind of immediately rips back into that mindless fierceness, and kind of thrash against the chains.
Callie's gonna try a greater restoration.
So you start to prepare for the next spell. You hear this hissing, kind of reptile-like voice come from over a little bit away in the darkness of this cavernous prison, and it goes, "As much as I'd like to see you get free that little pet of yours and him to eat you whole, you may not want to do that down here. This may just be the perfect time for you to walk away from all of this."
Lorna turns and looks.
And you see out of the shadow, start to peak, this chained and defeated, or like or I'm sorry, like strained physically, but this kind of voice coming from the shadow and this white maw sticking out, where you can see the face of a familiar ancient white dragon. As you see Rethic peek her head out from the shadows, in similar black chains, almost kind of limping and not being able to completely keep her stature up. She goes, at least not before I get the pleasure of eating you myself for what you've done to me and my kin. And I know it's been a while probably since you guys remember Rethic, but just a quick recap, and you can ask questions if you have any about Rethic. But Rethic is the ancient white dragon that fought with you when you guys fought Maleficent, and when you freed the other dragons, and when you guys killed the red dragon. She wasn't very happy with you all for killing the red dragon.
Yeah. We knew it would come back to bite us in the ass one day. Or you help us set our son free, and the rest of the dragons free, and we let you go.
She just kind of snickers and laughs. Let me go.
Yes.
Free us.
Yes.
Do you not feel that overwhelming pressure pushing down on you? And she kind of looks at each of you and then specifically at you, Cronus. Cronus, I am going to need you to do a wisdom saving throw, please.
Oh no.
Okay. You feel this kind of pressure pushing down on you, this kind of making you feel tight in the chest and heavy for the moment, and you hear these different kind of words said in Draconic to you, like submit, obey, kind of every piece of your body kind of feels this, and then it kind of fades away as you push off the effects of this place. It's much, much worse here. And I'm afraid the 5 of you are quite outnumbered. Even if we free these chains, our minds are, most of these dragons' minds are near gone, ready to serve blindly to the Igneal, like so many others do now.
Then we defeat that first.
She kind of laughs and coughs almost on her laugh a little bit, and as she kind of recovers from the that kind of cough, you start to see that there's some new freshly made scars across the kind of her torso area, and she'll kind of speak back after she kind of collects herself and say, Igneal has made allies with mortals that have really made him powerful, more powerful than anything that we fought when you guys came into Maleficent's tower. I don't know if he's using that dark magic you came and spoke to us that was happening to your world, but him and Grai seem to have full control and command of everything upon this ship.
Then we'll defeat them. We're not leaving without setting you all free.
He still speaks with a lot of anger and resentment towards you. A lot of disbelief and not completely buying your intentions or that you're actually going to help her.
Yeah.
I still hate you, but if you could make Igneal pay what he did to my brood, that I would be lying if I wouldn't get some gratification in some vengeance on Igneal. Um, yeah, so she'll just kind of wish you, or she really hates Igneal, and she doesn't really care for you guys either. So she just kind of just disbelief, or doesn't really believe that you're gonna really keep your word. You're welcome to make a persuasion check if you're trying to really convince her, though.
I don't think Lorna's trying to convince her. I think it's more of a don't give up hope yet, but we're gonna try.
Let our actions speak
Yeah.
for ourselves.
Exactly.
She'll then start to speak. If you want to defeat Karai and his control of all the dragons, you're going to go have to defeat him yourself. He will
At
not
this
be
point, I will
alone.
look over my shoulder and be like, I'm planning on killing everyone here.
Skyward
What?
looks at him worriedly.
Killing everyone here, like to the. Who are you saying this to?
I'm saying it to the dragon. Like, not
Not threatening the
realizing,
dragons that are in
not
prison.
threatening the dragon, but
All the evil dragons that are not locked up, that are, everybody's taken power and is in command, not the subjects.
Are we sure his mind hasn't been controlled and he's talking about us?
Oh, she's definitely going through some of the same torment and tortures. It doesn't seem to be affecting her as much as the little ones. You could ask about that if you wanted to.
No, I was talking about Cronus. He wasn't talking about us, was he? When he said he's going to kill everyone here?
Right, he's talking about all the other
Yeah.
nobody in this room.
By any chance, have you seen a redhead that looks like her, but not?
The nicer version of me that actually cares for every single creature. Who probably came in with Umbra here.
In a kind of breathy, raspy voice, she'll say, "No, human prisoners don't come down here unless they are food for us. Prisoners typically are up at the top part of the fortress, keeping the ship's mechanics and other kind of gizmos working. Magic can only go so far. Sometimes you need some enlisted help."
Okay. Well, that's some news.
Karai is near the center of the ship, not too far away from Igneal's lair itself. His cavern is below her main throne room, and there's a cavern that kind of leads between her room and the main chamber. It's a distance off, but I've only been to Igneal's chamber a few times, and it's many of him and his brood kind of resting and leisure in here. Let me see. I know it's no more than 2 hours. For us, it was not that long, but probably take someone about your size about 2 hours to kind of get there from here.
Fuck. Okay. Okay.
She kind of momentarily, it still has a lot of anger in her voice. You really plan to come back and free us, even though you know what we are and what we've kind of been, made into once again.
I plan to.
It's a still kind of reserved breath out, and she says, Well, I will promise not to eat you right away then. We'll have to revisit dinner plans another day.
Deal.
All right.
Let's get
Is there
going.
anything you just want to do before you start heading to the Igneal's lair?
So are we just leaving Umbra here?
We can't release him.
There's a reason he's chained up.
Exactly.
Yeah, because he was fighting against the control.
And he'll still be fighting against the control without those chains.
Exactly. And if he becomes under control, then he's against us, and then we have to hurt him. He might be suffering now, but it's going to be for shorter than, if we let him free, then we're going to have to hurt him and make him suffer more.
How bad off does Umbra actually look?
He's got some wounds and some scarring from just kind of fighting against these chains and wriggling and trying to resist, but overall he does not seem like he's been down here nearly as long as like Rethic, who's kind of weak to stand up, and she's not as mighty and powerful as she was when you last met Rethic.
Mm-hmm.
She's kind of a shattered version of her former self. So, but Umbra has not been here that long.
Callie, does it look like a little bit of healing would help?
Oh, certainly. I mean, it would definitely make him in better shape.
Is there a range to this mind control thing?
You wouldn't know.
I mean,
Actually,
considering...
Wouldn't I know
Oh, yeah.
that I feel the pressure up here, but you didn't mention it down below?
Technically, your DM's fucked up a little bit, and you would have it a little bit earlier on. But I'm gonna say I did some wisdom checks for you, and so you didn't really notice when you first started getting in the range because you just rolled so well, Cronus.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you were so focused on saving your child.
I would say you would start to feel some discomfort once you started flying close to it. Like before you even landed, you would start feeling a little discomfort. Not enough to just disrupt you, but just a little something would have been off for sure.
Alright. Didn't know if it was something like I'm feeling more pressure as we head up.
You're definitely feeling like the actual physical, like you're feeling physical pressure. The closer and closer you made it into this place as the things kind of grow more frequently.
I got a plan.
Uh-huh.
I can create a familiar, a Hulk, and I could polymorph Umbra into a mouse and have the familiar fly out and away from this place. You got an hour to get away from this place.
Ooh. It's a good idea.
So problem.
Uh-huh.
Where is he gonna go?
Ground.
And then how are we gonna find him afterwards?
We have
Same way we found him.
Yep.
Same way we found him here.
Oh, yeah, very true. Forgot about that.
Magic.
Literally.
Yeah. You know what? That's not a bad idea.
All right. I am going to use my wild shape and create a familiar, a Hulk. And then I'm going to use polymorph and turn Umbra into a mouse.
Okay. What is the DC?
Oh, that's right. Well, is he willing?
He's pretty out of his right mind at the moment to be.
Can he have disadvantage? Alright. The DC's 18.
Okay. And it's a wisdom.
Yes.
Okay.
He's young. He's not wise.
Yeah.
Let me pull up the sheet. Oh, I should have whispered, but that's okay. He looks like he's still resisting, but eventually he turns to a little mouse, and he still seems to be struggling and kind of in pain, kind of almost paralyzed, as if he's kind of having electricity course through his little body. But he is in mouse form.
Alright. The Hulk will then take him and fly out. I'm going to mentally give the Hulk directions on how, direction where we came from, and it's going to fly out.
Before Umbra gets picked up by the hawk, Lorna's going to pick him up gently in her hands, give him a little kiss on the forehead, and give the temporary hit points to Umbra. Sorry, Skybore. He's itty bitty.
How long does polymorph last?
1 hour.
1 hour? Okay. Yeah, with flying, you should be able to get all the way out of here within an hour. I mean, you guys have been here for a few hours, but yeah, he's flying and not worrying about the same.
And I think a Hulk moves pretty fucking fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay.
Umbra gets
So you-
7.
Okay. And you pick him up and you start flying as quickly as you can, the way you came into this place. Rethic thing kind of seems deflated. As this, so much for our freedom.
What do you mean?
Well, now that you've came to rescue, you'll have no business coming back from the rest of us.
We're not done. We're going to get rid of every single one of them up top and come back and free you.
She just kind of coils away back into the shadow, in a not very believing body language. Okay. Is there anything else you want to ask her or say or do in here before you guys continue searching for Igneous Lair? Or are you guys going to go above, like, up topside and check on what's going on in the rest of the ship? How do you guys want to proceed?
First, we sent the Hawk in the direction of Argos, right?
Yes.
Are we able to communicate with Argos this far away?
No, you're way too far away.
I thought there wasn't a range, but I don't remember.
Did I lift that range? I didn't think I lifted the range, did I? Let me see. Argo. Poppers. I think you're thinking about the sending spell I can do. Clearly, that's not a range. If you can send the sending spell to and from Argo, but you would have to contact Argo. So does anyone have the sending spell to contact them?
Callie does.
If you did that, I would say Argo could continue using its magic to keep doing walkie-talkie back and forth that way. You don't have to keep recasting it. I'm saying since you made contact with him, he's going to use his expenditure of messaging to contact you right back.
I would look at Callie and just ask her to contact Argos. and let Argo know that a hawk is going to be coming with a mouse that's actually a dragon. And, have Argos explain to Umbra what's going on.
Yep. And to not let Umbra go near the wolves or the baby bears. For now. Till the parents get home.
Okay.
Callie will... Wait, hold on. Does she have it prepared? Ah. Yes, she does have it prepared. Okay. She will send a message.
Okay. It acknowledges that they'll expect to see a hawk in about 55 minutes as your falcon has already taken off and starts heading that way. Is there anything else you wanted to talk with Argo about?
Outside of just making sure they got away okay, that'd be it.
He kind of reads off some of the casualties and the ships that got destroyed in the effort. A little bit too robotic when he lists off all of the numbers, but it seems like a majority of the fleet is safe and made it outside of the attack, taking out a dragon or two in the process of their retreat.
Alrighty.
All right. So where would you guys like to head next?
Start heading up. I think.
Yeah.
You have two options. You go service side to look for the prisoners, human prisoners and stuff, or servants, or you can go towards Igneal's lair, which is kind of still in the same tunnels, but not that much further away from you.
My vote would be to find your sister before we start a bunch of shit.
Yeah, in case they can teleport them there and use them as bait. Yeah, I like that idea. Find the humans first. Then fight the big bad.
All right. So you're gonna make your way to the surface side, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say you guys start making your way up, and the tunnels start to get a little smaller, not so big and large for these massive dragons, but it starts to go from naturally occurring like rocks and steps and stones to make steps out of there to actual stones being placed and cut and made to make the exit and entrance a little bit easier and through these tunnels. You're clearly kind of crossing over into the more man-made side of this floating structure, and you see more of the same kind of Gothic architecture, a little less muted as you get further up top, and you see it quite more in abundance, along with steel and more exposed polished stone, making your way up through these cavernous steps. About 30 minutes into this, though, Cronus, I'm going to need another wisdom saving throw, please. Right.
What the hell do I have the +1? Oh, I got blessed clicked.
Oh, damn.
Every minute Skyboy's going to pat Cronus on the shoulder, give him resistance.
I love it.
What does resistance do again?
Gives him a D4 on it gives him a D4 on saving throws.
Okay.
They're just walking hand in hand beside each other.
I don't know about that.
Laura's on the other side.
They're starting to skip ahead. Let's see here. All right. So, sorry, I'm trying to find this Umbra's character sheet.
Take my hand, Cronus. Take it. Don't make this weird. Just take my hand.
Listen, I missed you too while you were gone, but no.
Take his hand, Cronus. You know you want to. I know you love him more than I do. Or more than me.
All
When you
right.
say that, he would reach over and grab his hand.
Wow.
All right. So you feel again that overwhelming pressure kind of push down on you. It's a lot more to take. The longer it seems like you've been on this ship and in this area, um, it seems like it's was a little bit harder to shake off than the previous experience you had. Um, and you guys continue to make your way through the caverns. I think that's a good place to pause, and we'll pick up. You guys kind of are you guys still walking with purpose, or are you starting to get stealthy as you get closer to the surface? How are you guys approaching the surface?
It's not going to be with purpose anymore because Skyboy is not dressed like Yashi, and he is out of wild shape.
I'll come up with a roll for you. I mean, Lorna's not dressed like him.
No.
You still got your bag of holding. Do you have any more of the? I thought you had that one suit of armor. That Ashi suit of armor. I thought you got that
Isn't
studded
Salim
one.
wearing that one?
I
Yeah.
thought
I'm
Skyward
wearing-
was studded, and because there was a conversation, can he wear studded or not? Because we said yeah, because it's bone and metal.
I'm not wearing it. I'm wearing my +3 hide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Just so I can have some ideas. I don't want to just get lost in tunnel vision on what you guys are, what I'm expecting you guys to kind of do. But is there anything specific you guys want to try to investigate and look into as you reach kind of the upper portion of this fortress? Are we just looking for prisoners? Are we looking for where Karai may be? What are you guys wanting to accomplish next session?
You know what? There's an idea.
Uh-huh.
Skyboy is a prisoner, and he needs to be taken to the prisoners.
I like it.
That's why I'm holding his hand.
I love this. I love this so much. I mean, that could be the same with, like, pretty much all of us. Well, Salim's wearing the armor. Salim, are you wearing the armor?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So yeah, it could be you two have the three of us prisoner. Lorna could just stick her sword in the bag.
I think we just have one prisoner. We should be okay.
Yeah, we can see how it plays out. But I think along the way, I think our main focus, finding the prisoners, but I think we're also keeping our eye out for potential routes that could lead to where Karai is. Right, so it's not, we're not solely focused on finding the prisoners, but our prisoners are our first objective. If that makes sense.
And if Salim just happens to walk by a cash register or something somewhere, and
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, if you don't mind, just put in a quick few notes in general chat then, just so for a little reminder. So as I prep for next session, I just want to make sure I have enough stuff to go after the things you're interested in, and or at least have answers for why things are or are not there. And we'll go there. We'll start from there next weekend.